This is Terran Tuck Cal with MTAC Roofing Systems doing a roof inspection for Dave Bush. Dave, the first thing I'm looking for on this roof is basically the overall condition of the shingle and some of the things that I may bring to your concern. Anything that looks out of the ordinary. So as soon as I got up here, this is the first thing that I started looking at. And the reason why is because Matt had told me that the addition was backing away from the house. So I looked on the back side and I could tell right here that it's backing away. I think you can see it right there. So it's actually pulling away from the house and it's causing this siding right here. So it's causing this flashing to pull forward. Now, if I try to pull that flashing back, what it's gonna do is it's gonna probably rip the nails out and then it could cause bigger problems. And of course the vinyl's starting to pull out, which is causing this J-channel trim to come undone. Before I leave today, I'll try to put that up there. I'm not a vinyl expert, but that's what I do know to be true. Is the reason why this is coming out is because it's backing away from the house. It's pulling the flashing's pulling the vinyl, and then once the vinyl comes undone, then the J-channel comes undone. Second thing I've seen is this gutter's getting backed up right here, and it's actually pulling away from the fascia, which could lead to bigger problems. You can see some of the nails are completely backed out, that one right there, which is probably causing water to run directly behind and into the fascia board. And you can see this the fascia wrap right here. So if that water hits right here, then it goes straight back to the wood that's probably not primed and could lead to bigger problems. And that's probably what happened right there. The water started flowing. After time, it backed out the nails because the wood got weaker, and that's just the simple explanation on what's going on that side. There was a couple different spots that I seen, so it seems like a lot of debris builds up right here. And if I had to guess, it's flashed properly. Generally, anything with J-channel or vinyl is generally flashed properly. It's pretty easy to flash it. But what you see right here is this piece of wood's backing off, and it's come undone from this piece of fascia wrap, and this is pulling out. Now I don't know why this rafter right here would be extended. I don't know if it's absorbed water and gotten bigger over time, but it's causing water to build up right here and stay stagnant, and now you're starting to see moss growth. I'll also point out that there's exposed nail heads, and anywhere where there's exposed nail heads, generally they start rusting, and then they lead to bigger problems. I looked for wind damage up here. Now, if you look at these shingles, they're super brittle. However, your house is absolutely covered by trees, which would generally, right off the bat, tell me that wind probably does come through here, but it hits the trees before it hits the roof. But I did find one wind damaged shingle right here, and you can tell this wind probably came straight through that hole right here and literally hit, and it only lifted up a corner of this. The shingle itself is not, generally wind damage starts at the top. This one's creased on the side, but that's the only one I've seen up here. And then of course on the back, it looks like this was maybe a partial sloped roof at one point. Maybe this slope got paid for and this one didn't. And then on the back side of the chimney here, I don't know what's going on, but this flashing right here is pulling up and it's pushing these shingles up, which is causing the shingles to do a major buckle right here. You do got kick out, which is good. And to be honest with you, as long as this flashing goes up to about right here, I know this looks weird, until you can get something done about it, I don't think that this would leak. I think that it would hit right there and either bounce off that way, or it'd hit that flashing and find its way to this kick out. Take a step back here. Most of the stuff looked good back here. Always look at the components. You can see at one point it looks like there was nails in there, and maybe when they did the partial back here, the partial sloped roof, maybe they just didn't put the nails back there. Everybody installs them different, so it looks like the contractors who did this did not put nails. Generally I would pop 1, 2, 3, and then I would seal those up. Same thing with the pipe boots. You see these little holes right here, that's nailing areas. but it does not seem like they put any nails, but they probably did put a nail right here and a nail up here, and then shingled up, and then of course left the bottom exposed. So give you a rundown. There's 2 pipe boots up here, 6 turtle vents. You got 1 chimney and then 1 satellite dish. Satellite dish seems to be okay. Generally, it's either rotted on there or it's fine. But another thing that I've seen is build up in the gutters. Right at the miters, you're seeing a lot of build up. And then it looks like this shingle right here is damaged, but that was because they probably repaired it right there. This one, there's one damaged shingle. I did not see that one. So all in all, you got about 2 damaged shingles up here. Do I think it's worth a try at insurance just because there's so much tree coverage? You know, Dave, I can't say that I would ever file a claim unless your roof absolutely got smoked. So if you had hail damage and it came directly down, or if you had 15, 20 damaged shingles, the roof's non-repairable, then I would say let's file this claim. However, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of damage up here. But you got some buildup in the gutters. Like I said, all the miters, that's where you're seeing most of the buildup. A lot of buildup on this one. And what happens when you have buildup is this stays stagnant. Water sits in there and then it'll start rotting these leaves. Those leaves turn to soil, and then all the soil will go to the gutters, back up the gutter, and then water will try to flow over that fascia and start rotting out that fascia. Eventually it'll start pulling out the gutters. And looking to see if I covered everything. I think I covered pretty much everything on this roof. Exposed nail heads, that's common right there. Exposed nail heads, and once they're exposed for a good amount of time, then they start rusting and eventually could lead to bigger problems. Now, do I think they'll cause a problem tomorrow? Absolutely not, but later on in the future, they could definitely lead to bigger problems. So Dave, I'll get down, send this video over to you, and we'll go from there.